Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. Yes, we are back at home now in the beer reviewing room. Got back about a day and a half ago. No, not a day and a half ago, about 3/4 of a day ago. Well, it's about, what time is it? It's about 5:30. It's 5:30 Wednesday evening. Got back at midnight last night, if you like, or midnight first thing this morning. Had a bit of a kip. It's the first day back and we are on it to do a review. Now, today I have been down to Stonehouse. Shane, the owner of Stonehouse, very kindly put six beers by for me, free of charge, because of all the support I give him. And I have sent some out today. One of my mates has actually bought some, but I've chucked an extra couple of beers in there, and I've sent a couple of beers out to Simo from Simo Sups. And one of the beers that they've got is the one that I'm going to be reviewing now. So, like I say, from Stonehouse Brewery out of Oswestry, and this is a bottle, I nearly said a can, of their High Numbers Hazy New England IPA, coming in at 5%. It's a 500ml bottle. Like I say, I got 6 free, but I bought a case and a half as well, because I knew one of my mates was going to, Liam from Deep in Brews Reviews, wanted 6. And then there's some others that I'm going to send out. Singly, I'm not sure how much they are, about the £2.50 mark. Buy them in a case and that, and they come in at about £2.25, £2.26, something like that. What I will say, this beer has been out for quite a while. It was bottled about a month ago. They were quite slow on the bottling. And I have had this beer before, obviously. What I will say before we get anywhere, Hazy New England IPA, for me this isn't a New England IPA, it's just a standard IPA, standard sort of craft IPA. It certainly hasn't got them big juicy notes that I would say you associate with it. Quickly off the back now, it's saying Styrian Wolf and Calypso hops bring mango, elderflower and sweet tropical balanced balanced with a hint of bitterness. Hazy and vegan friendly. Best stored and served chilled. Drink responsibly. Stonehouse Brewery Limited, Western Oswestry, Shropshire, SY109ES. So if you are around the Oswestry area, pop down to Stonehouse, give them some support and try some of their beers. New branding on the label. There we go. We're going to stop waffling now. It is quite chilled. I've got my Stonehouse Sidelines glass, so we're going to get it in there. So let's give it a go. Get it into a glass. Now, as I said to you before, for me, this isn't a New England for me. This is very much a standard sort of IPA. I reckon there's lots of sediment stuck in the bottom of this. So I'm going to try and give it a swirl. I have no doubt this will change massively when I do finally get the rest of it in. It's hazing up already. So I'm going to leave a little bit in the bottle. We'll give that a good swill afterwards. Beer in a glass, it looks a little bit murky on your side, but holding it up against the window, it's got very much an orange mango kind of look about it. A finger of lovely white fluffy head, and I'm not seeing any carbonation go up there. Looks decent though. So let's dive in on the nose and see what we get through the nostrils. Now that is funny. That is really weird, because I've had this down there. I've had many a pint of this down there, but getting that out the bottle, you definitely get orange sort of citrus note. You definitely get mango. I think you get a little bit of coconut on the aroma as well. It's hoppy. A little bit dank, a little bit musty, you could say. I'm not quite sure I'm picking up the elderflower, but if I'm really brutally honest, I'm not really up on what an elderflower smells like. But it certainly has a juicy nose. It certainly smells different to the beer on tap. And I think it does look a little bit different as well. Certainly my side, you might not look at your side, but for me, yeah. So let's get the rest in. We'll give this bottle a good swill. But it's definitely punchy. Ooh, there's some big clusters in there. Some big lumps. That's one ugly looking beer. That's one ugly looking beer. There are some major clumps. Drop to the bottom of that. Looks like the beer's got worms under there. All the yeasty bitterness. It's definitely hazed up there. That has hazed up big time. It's looking like dishwater, if you want to be honest. Now it's looking more sort of hazy, sort of orange look about it. The head looks a bit creamier, a little bit duller, not pure white. So without further ado, let's dive in on Stonehouse Brewery and their High Numbers Hazy New England IPA. Certainly smelt a bit more New England on the nose there, but from what I've had in the bar, it doesn't taste like New England or so much. So cheers, Shane. Let's dive in, give it a go. Incidentally, they've recently had a new head brewer. The last one left, moved on to new things. This was his final brew, I believe. I think he done one on cast, but this was his final hazy. So cheers, Dave. Cheers, Shane. Let's dive in, give it a go. Okay. Straight away, I'm going to say this is not Stonehouse's best beer. I'm going to say it's possibly, from what I remember, it's possibly one of their worst hazy beers, in my opinion. That's not to say it's not a good beer. I'm just saying their beers have been of such good quality that I don't think this is up there with the others. But we'll go in again. Body, I think, is definitely lighter than a lot of their other ones. They've had a lot of beers that have been sort of slightly lower ABV than this, that have felt a bit more fuller. They've had some of the same sort of range of ABV that have been a lot fuller. They've had some slightly higher that have been a lot fuller. So I think body wise, it's probably one of their lightest, I'm going to say. It is nice and soft. I want to say pillowy soft, but I think it would be pillow, but I don't think it's quite there. I think it would be pillowy soft if this beer had a bit more body. Gentle carbonation. It is low on carbonation, so it does leave it with a lovely mouthfeel for me. And it is nice and smooth. Now, on the taste. For me, I think this is where the New England IPA ends with it. So I'm going to dive in for you. I am going to say it's got that mango, it's got that orange, and it does feel like a New England. But it's got very much a dankness to it. Quite a strong, I'm going to say, astringent bitterness. That might be a little bit harsh maybe, but I think it has got that. It certainly hasn't got that sweet juicy bitterness of a New England, and I think that's where this is sort of astringent bitterness sort of lets it down a bit, or certainly moves it more away from the New England. So mango, orange, citrus. That's where you're getting. That's where you're getting the New England side. Behind that, the bitterness comes in. Like I say, maybe a bit of an astringent bitterness, maybe a little bit big on bitterness. But behind that, what it leaves you with is a coconut feel. Very much coconut taste behind that, and even in the burp there. For me, coconut isn't something I would necessarily put with a New England IPA for me. It's almost a mix of styles. It starts off New England but goes very much IPA, standard sort of IPA, with very much different sort of hops to what you would expect from a New England one, like with that coconut feel on the back end. It is quite bitter. it's got very much that bitterness with the coconut, gives it quite a strong, powerful sort of taste, which some people might find overwhelming. The 5%, with that back end bitterness, I think it feels like 5%. It gives it a bigger feel. It almost feels like it's strong in alcohol. I wouldn't say you sort of get that alcohol thing, but it certainly leaves you with that, oh, this is a big, powerful sort of number. But it drinks well, and it is tasty. Don't be put off by what I'm saying, because this is a tasty beer. But I think it's one of them, it's not full on enough New England for me to be in New England. It's got elements of it which sort of disappear quite quickly and are overtaken with a big, in your face, ballsy sort of IPA. So yeah, is it a good beer? It's a good beer. It is a good beer. It's maybe not one for the... I think you've really got to be into your hazy sort of beers to drink this, because I think it is quite aggressive. Like I say, I think it is quite in your face, but it is a decent beer. I don't think it's up there with some of their other brews for me. But again, like I say, it's going to be down to personal taste. It's quite a powerful in your face one, but at the end of the day, it's still a well brewed beer. And I do like it. I've had pint after pint after pint after pint of this, as I always do when I go down there. Their craft stuff is good, but I do get a little bit bored of it. This is why I stick to this. So yeah, for me, high numbers from Stonehouse. I'm going to say not their best, but still a decent drop of beer. £2.26, is it worth it? Absolutely. Look at what it's going to cost you in a supermarket. I know they do the 4 for 3s, but most of these standard beers are £2.50 odd. Yes, £2.26. You've got to buy a case of it, even if you're paying £2.50 and paying the same price as some standard ales and what have you in the supermarkets. That is still well worth it. Not their best, but I am looking forward to their new one. No doubt there will be one coming. I don't know any inside information. I'm assuming they'll bring a new one out. I would like to see a bit more hazy stuff from them. I'd like to see them have 2 on at a time. But it is what it is. So this is their latest one. It gets the thumbs up from me, but certainly not their best one. So there you go. That's it. If you've had this beer before, let me know what you think. Feel free to comment. Thank you all for watching. I've waffled on for way too long. I am back. Get ready for more reviews, and I'll see you again soon on another one. If you've had it, by the way, let me know what you think. Cheers.